Okay, so it's Friday, it's you hangout time, and today I'm joined by the lovely Umbraco community. So as always, we start with introductions. So we're going to go my far left, so we're going to start with you, Bob. How are you doing, Bob?
Good. Good morning, Warren. I guess it's morning here. Hey.
Morning, yeah.
So introductions, Bob Beattybar, sort of an Umbraco developer, jack of all trades, master of none. Been around the community for a few years now. So
cool.
That's me. Boot and Umlock on Twitter.
Awesome. So we're then going to take the next one along. Lee.
Hello, I'm Lee Kelleher. Been using Umbraco since 2007, which was version 3. I've had my own company called Umbrella, and we build Umbraco websites for like the likes of Carlsberg. Yeah, me.
Cool. Michael.
Hello. Hello, I'm Mike. So I'm an Umbraco developer and director of a company called Chorus, and we build Umbraco websites for a bunch of different people.
Cool. So you've been using Umbraco long, Mike? I don't know if you got that. You've been using Umbraco long, Mike? Stone-faced. Pete. Yeah, so how did you get involved with Umbraco?
Uh-oh, is no one hearing you?
Hello?
I can hear you, Warren.
I can hear you fine.
Oh, Pete, intros. Sorry.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do this. I'm Peter. I'm a long-time Umbraco user. I'm an Umbraco trainer. I've been doing that for the last sort of 5 years or so, but I've been using Umbraco since 2006, January something 2006.
Okay, so a long time.
Long time. Yeah, like version 3. So yeah, I've been around the bush a few times.
Yeah, awesome. Tom, how did you get involved with Umbraco?
Hi guys, so I've been using Umbraco for about 4 years now. Initially started using it for a company when I was working in Cheltenham. I now work at a company called Zone, which is based in Bristol and London. So I'm a .NET developer and enjoy using Umbraco.
Cool. So obviously out of the I have to count then. Out of the 6 of us, obviously the 4 of us are probably kind of CodeGarden veterans, but Mike and Tom, obviously you're kind of CodeGarden virgins. So let's take Tom. How comes waiting so long to go to CodeGarden? Why now?
It's a good question because I should have totally gone before, but cost is always an issue.
Yeah, of course.
And having the time and space and money to do so is a slight drawback, but luckily enough, I've been granted an opportunity with my current company to go with another guy. So there's 2 of us that are going to be going to CodeGarden this year.
Brilliant. Mike, I don't know if you heard me earlier. How long have you been using Umbraco?
So I've been using Umbraco for about 5 years.
Okay, so why kind of been those 5 years not being going to CodeGarden? Is it just like Tom, just time and money and?
Yeah, mainly. So the last sort of 3.5 years I've been building a company, and sort of it's now at a point where actually I do have a bit of spare time where I can actually make it. So yeah, but looking forward to it. Should be good.
Awesome. So whilst we kind of heavily outweigh the beginners, veterans, Bob, Lee, Pete, any advice for the newcomers in terms of what to expect or kind of any survival tips?
No preconceived ideas. I think it's the long and short of it. Every year there's something that's taken you by surprise.
Definitely. Lee, Bob, anything to add to that?
Yeah. Go with mind. I don't know. It's almost like a speakerphone now. Yeah, go with the open mind. I think it's you'll always learn something new. I don't know who's got echo in. I don't know. Yeah, so you'll always learn something new, and you'll always meet somebody new, someone that you would have never have dreamt of meeting, who will sort of give you some insight to kind of something that you'd not really thought of, really. I think it's just always go with a kind of an open mind. If you're kind of fixed on doing things a certain way, there's always somebody who's got another approach or mentality to solving some similar problems.
Okay. Bob, any kind of like that's kind of formal, but like the social side of things is obviously it's 3 days. It's quite a long. It's like a marathon in a way, isn't it?
It's definitely like a marathon, depending where you come from too. But I think that open-mindedness about the content of the conference, you know, not just from a technical standpoint, but from the absolute, you know, open-mindedness, because you're going to meet people from around the world. Everyone does stuff differently, socially, you know, as well as programmatically. So, you know, and even for us veterans, kind of have an open mind about the conference, because you know, it can always change. You know, there's no absolutes. You kind of get used to a schedule and the way things are going to happen, and I think they're mixing it up a little bit this year from what I hear. So, and then, you know, it's really going to change moving forward. So keep an open mind about everything.
Yeah, definitely. So let's take the next thing. So kind of any expectations from the keynote? Are we kind of, has anyone kind of got any ideas, kind of what they hope to see announced in the keynote from Niels in the game? Is there kind of like, oh, I really wish they're going to talk about this, or I hope they talk about that? Is there anything else? Anyone want to chime in on this?
I'm guessing that we're going to hear a little bit more about Umbraco.com and its imminent release, maybe this year again.
Yeah, so there's been an ongoing theme for the last maybe, what, 2 years maybe now?
I hope that's not the biggest part of it, but I mean, I think definitely that they're probably going to hopefully give it its final blessing and big splash release it. Maybe not at CodeGarden, but it sounds like it's coming this fall for sure, right?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Last CodeGarden, it was going to be released in the fall. So yeah, I hopefully it does get released this year.
On a side note, obviously, Lee, that your kind of umbrella kind of actively uses Umbraco.com or Umbraco as a service.
Yes.
Without probably avoiding any NDAs, do you reckon it's on the horizon?
There has been significant improvements with the platform over the last 18 months. So yeah, you know, it's definitely heading in the right direction. But you know, when that gets announced, I don't know. I don't know when that's going to be. But yeah, I know there's still people, you know, still other companies using it, and still big sites being put on it. So yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there.
Awesome. I know that there's what version are we on now? 7.2.6?
Yeah.
6.
Okay. I've heard obviously some nigglings or rumours that 7.3 may be around the corner, and obviously has. Does anyone remember any of the new features that's due in 7.3? Isn't load balancing going to be one of them?
That's what Shannon's talking about at the conference. So I would say that possibly some of the goodness that he's putting into it is going to be due then. So yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the main points of the schedule might actually be a Thursday afternoon, when there seems to be quite a few interesting sessions. One of those being the Umbraco load balancing, and that would be really good to see what sort of improvements are being made there. I was interested to see around like the new cache, whether or not that's going to make it into some form of display at Umbraco CodeGarden, but I think we're probably going to have to wait for.
So Tom, are you referring to kind of Stefan's kind of new cache?
Stefan, that's it. Yeah. So I've just been reading some of the blog posts around that, and it looks exciting, getting rid of the sort of flat file approach. So that would be good.
Yeah, awesome. With that kind of keynote kind of stuff out the way, so what is everyone's kind of one session they're mostly kind of looking forward to?
Pull up that schedule.
Everybody runs.
What's that, Pete?
I'm saying everybody runs to the CodeGarden site.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, hang on.
Yeah. Well, no, I actually did. I realized yesterday, or whenever they launched the schedule, I started looking through it, and it's like, okay, there you go, slot number 1 at 11:30. I have one thing that I've already signed up for, and I really want to be in both the other sessions. It just happens every year. There's so much good content that you're conflicted. It's like, all right.
So what have you signed up for then, Bob?
I'm doing the grid layouts.
Okay, so that's the workshops, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm doing that workshop, but I really would love to sit on that roadmap panel just to see where things are going, because it's so exciting right now.
Yeah.
And then, you know, larger sites, and those are always interesting. So the Amnesty International. So I was conflicted right out the gate.
Yeah, straight away. Yeah. Lee, obviously excluding your own talk.
Oh no! It's meant to be this excellent talk about 11:30 on Thursday in the back room.
Oh, is there?
Oh. Yeah. But yeah, there has been an update to the talk though. Is that I will be co-presenting with one of my partners in crime, Mr. Matt Brailsford. So that's an announcement.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're gonna sort of talk, how to make killer packages, but also trying to cover our vast history of making packages. Do some personal insights. But I mean, apart from that, I'm looking forward to Chris Gaskell's talk about securing Umbraco, because I mean he did a talk last year about how to do like caching and using varnish and stuff, and it was quite in depth and really useful. So I think he's going to apply the same kind of in-depth knowledge to how to harden up and secure Umbraco. So looking forward to that.
Cool. Michael, if I can figure out. There you are.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, so I'm going obviously to the load balancing one because that's a particular interest we do with quite a lot of large companies, and so that's going to be quite interesting. I'm also following and using Macello a bit, so I'm looking forward to hearing a bit more about that actually, and finding out more what they're planning on doing with the Macello product.
So you're going to try and get to the session, like the workshop?
Yeah, so go along to the session. But I think the other thing that I'm really looking forward to the most actually is just the part of, I think, on the final day where everyone's just sort of talking about all and showing off the different things that they've been working on. And I think just be interesting to see what other people have been playing with, really.
Yeah, definitely. Pete, what are you looking forward to this year?
Interesting, because this year I signed up for workshops. So
So you basically booked in as many workshops as possible?
No. Last year I signed up for like the Angular one because Angular was new, and it was something that I was training, and I wanted to see what was going on. This year, just because I don't know, I wanted to be efficient. And I mean, I kind of wanted to go to the Umbraco.com one, but I guess the one that sort of interests me the most are the Pete Duncanson's always just good for graphs, but I mean, it's, I really want to see the React.js one, and the and I did a project recently with a client where they were using what's it called, Elasticsearch.
Okay.
So there's the other session that's talking about marrying up Elastic for as part of their solution. So I'm interested to see how they use it, the Novacell one, because we've really just things ultra fast.
Okay.
So
Tom, what are we looking forward to this year? Obviously, it being your first, but obviously you must have looked at the schedule and going, look, I really want to see that this year.
I mean, there's loads of things around the schedule which I'm sort of looking forward to. In terms of Umbraco itself, there's obviously the roadmap, getting to understand where Umbraco is leading towards. That would be a good one to sit in on. Another one, apart from Lee's, obviously, because he's always good at doing presentations. There's one called Beyond the Web, which is sort of about using Umbraco in a non-conventional way. So I had a sort of preview at the Umbra store, so I'd quite like to see a bit more around that. And then just going through a few of the others. So sort of using Umbraco in a corporate manner. So there's corporate Umbraco platform and the Britax European website. So I think those would be quite interesting. But then they're also alongside the load balancing and securing Umbraco, which are also going to be quite good. So there's going to be a few decisions that need to be made.
Okay, good stuff. I'm just trying to think. So obviously there's some changes to kind of CodeGarden this year, it seems. Obviously there's even a slight change in terms of venue rooms. By the sounds of it, sounds like the main room is kind of not happening this year, and a new space, the circus, is obviously sounds very interesting. Does anyone know any more details about this?
No, I was going to ask the same thing. Has anyone heard about what the circus is? Because I don't know. I get sort of got this thing of imagining. There's a big top somewhere. That's got.
I get this vision of the big top, but then I also get this Umbraco envision, like there's going to be live circus performers doing stuff while these sessions are going on, which might make it very difficult to concentrate.
Yeah.
It's either that or else the person who walks on stage, they hand them a unicycle and some juggling balls and say, here you go.
I could make it quite interesting. Yeah.
Spinning teacups.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting with that big room not being utilized. It's going to be interesting to see if that becomes like a hangout space.
I can imagine if the big room is not going to be in use, then I could imagine, like you say, Bob, if the weather's shitty and you don't want to sit outside or the cafe's pretty full, that would be a nice space to either just hang out and hack and just get to know one another.
Hey, speaking of weather, does anybody have a long-range forecast of what it's going to be like that week while we're there? Is it too early still?
Only based on past experience, which is it's always great.
Yeah, touch wood. Normally it's normally reasonable. I think I've only ever been to kind of a CodeGarden where weather's not been that good. But so with that being said, let's talk to the veterans about past experiences. Bob, when was your first CodeGarden?
I think my first CodeGarden may have been 2008. It was at the Islandsburger location, and the weather was outstanding that year. People were swimming in the canals. It was great. It was also a little bit later in June, I believe, that year, so summer solstice, all kinds of great stuff going on. So, and I think I'm pretty positive to say I have not missed a CodeGarden since then. So,
okay.
What is this? 8-ish?
Keeps on coming back. Nice.
Beg, borrow, steal, find a way to get there.
Yeah, so you make a good point there, Bob. 1 year, I don't think for personal reasons she was overly able to make it, but you got funded by your kind of community campaign, by your t-shirt project.
Yeah, so 1 year when I was running my own business was not the best year I was having, but I really wanted to make it to CodeGarden, so I sold sponsorships on a t-shirt and had a different t-shirt every day, and the community really kicked in. I mean, it's just another example of how awesome the community is. You know, everyone just kind of threw $20, and some more, some less, but everybody, chipped in and helped me get there. It was a pretty fun little adventure. So.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's a nice part of this community. It just seems to help one another out, and just, like you said, you've been coming for a long time, Bob, and it wouldn't be CodeGarden without Bob being there.
Not that I contribute anything technically to the program.
Lee, obviously you've been going through some CodeGarden for a while now.
So I first went in 2009. So yeah, 2009 was my first one. I didn't really know what to expect, and yeah, I don't know. It was really interesting. It was I was a bit because I've been using Umbraco since 2007, and obviously there's been I think I first became aware of CodeGarden in 2008, and a lot of people within the community were saying, "Oh, you should come, you should come." I'm like, "Oh, it's a lot of money, and it's a long way to go just for a for a jolly." So, finally did it in 2009, and then I got a bit starstruck. When you see people like Doug and Dirk, and then yourself, Warren. It's like Warren, it's the guy who did the creative start kit. Oh my God, I used this. So I got a bit starstruck by some of the people I met. But we're all good friends now. It's great. So that's something else I'd say to other newcomers is, even though you start off as strangers, you all become friends quite quickly.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Lee. Yeah, I remember my first CodeGarden quite a few years back now, but yeah, you basically walk into a room, a bunch of strangers. You may know a few names here and there by the Twitter forums or I don't know, GitHub commits or whatever, but yeah, you soon make good kind of connections and friendships even. Yeah, which is awesome. So Pete, how long? Oh, go on, Lee. What was you going to say?
No, I was going to say it's still happening. Like, last year, I met James South, and it was like, oh my God, it's the guy who did image processor. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you're
hardcore developer and everything. I'm like, and then you end up drinking goodies and doing silly things like Minute and MVP thing.
Pete, obviously you've been going to CodeGarden for quite a while, but obviously you're down under in Oz, so obviously it takes quite a lot more effort to kind of fly over to Europe. But go on.
I'm going to say that I just worked out 2 weeks on planes getting to CodeGarden.
What was that comment?
So I've spent a total of 2 weeks on planes getting to CodeGarden. So, the years and backs over the past however many years, yeah, I've spent a total of I think almost 14 days on planes. So yeah, it gets a bit ridiculous. But I don't know, it's worth it. I've only missed one in the past. I guess almost 2009, the same year that Lee did. Yeah, since then I've only missed one, but it's definitely been worth it every year. I think for me, it's almost like a family routine. Is kind of the way I kind of put it. It's good fun to catch up and see everybody, and just have a drink and chat.
Yeah, exactly. Like just the social side of things. It's just like good to have a catch up, find out what everyone's been up to, and yeah, I class the community probably my second family.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a shame that you're not going to this year. It's kind of a bit upset about that.
Oh. But yeah, it is going to be the first year that I'm going to miss one. Yeah, 2007. So yeah, it's going to be a shame. But hey ho, there's always next year.
Well, next year it sounds like it's changing quite majorly. But, yeah.
Definitely. Okay. I'm just trying to think how to kind of maybe potentially wrap this up. Surely the veterans have got some more advice for the kind of the newcomers.
Yeah, one question I have for the new guys is how much have you heard about the sort of, let's just say the extracurricular social aspects? Like, do you know what happens after the...
I've mainly been told from yourself, Lee, so...
Yeah.
I hear about your unfortunate times.
Yeah, so yeah, there's the boat trip on the first night, which is very interesting. yeah, about 400, 500 people going on these canal boats. And then the bingo night on the second night is, I don't know how to explain. You can't explain it.
I don't think you can explain that one at all without being there in person. It's just a very odd sight.
So is the boat trip definitely happening this year? Is that?
I'm not
I think
sure.
I heard the boat trip is not happening.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard there's going to be an alternative this year.
But I would still say if you find time, definitely take the canal tour.
Yeah, I'm sure there would be an unofficial boat party.
Because it's a beautiful city, and that's a beautiful way to see it. So definitely worth the trip.
Yeah, where would you say your top spots in Copenhagen were?
Oh,
Top
geez.
spots.
There's lots of top spots that serve great drinks.
Yeah. I think you've been there, Tom. So the night before CodeGarden is like it's like an unofficial kind of meet where everyone goes to the McKellar's bar. Is it McKellar? Yeah, McKellar's. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Is Mikella?
Mikella.
Yeah. It's Mikella, that's it.
Yeah.
I think of my own name, Mikella. Yeah, but it's such a small bar and it kind of overflows and stuff. But I think we're going down the road to like the restaurant version, the Warping, this time around. But yeah, definitely Mikella's bar.
Yeah, if you make it to that first social engagement that night before the conference, then you pretty much get swept up in the tide of the whole event, and you'll be taken care of for the rest of the week. You'll always know where to go, who to be with.
Yeah, and you make some good initial friends, or at least like people to hang out with if you come in totally by yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, find out who else is staying at your own hotel, and then you can kind of at least follow someone home when you've had too much to drink. So yeah.
It's figure out who will buy you a beer, and it's just for them, you know. It's like,
Stay around with them.
it's pretty much you buy me a beer, I'll buy you a beer. It's social camaraderie thing that goes on, and it's just a great time just all around.
Tom, any other kind of questions, or Michael, to the kind of the veterans? Anything you kind of want to know before you kind of get your flick on kind of Denmark?
So I'd really like to know who would you recommend as the one person to speak to at CodeGarden?
For me, if it was one person.
Nah,
I don't know,
Bob.
Bob.
No,
Definitely Bob.
Niels.
Yeah. If it's your first time at CodeGarden and you haven't met Niels and Per, then definitely go and say hello. You know, I remember the first time I met Niels, it was like I was saying before about being starstruck. It was, oh my god, you know, it's the guy who made the software. So yeah, definitely those, and then Bob, and then there's Doug, and just like a lot of old timers who have had a lot of experience.
And like 450 other people.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a drink then, Bob.
And the grumpy guy. The grumpy guy who runs the bar.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, befriend him.
At the end of 3 days, yeah, he is kind of grumpy.
Yeah. He wants us to leave.
I'd like to know if, obviously the schedule looks quite full on, but do you reckon that there'll be any time where you're sort of outside the Umbraco crew, or is it just stay with all the community and get involved?
From my own experience with that, is that when I first went over in 2009, I brought my girlfriend over with me, and she was quite happy just to go around Copenhagen during the day and things, and I was like, yeah, we finished about 6, 7, because I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, I'll meet up with you in the evening. And when I got back to the hotel, I was not in her good books. So yeah, if you are bringing your partners over with you, then just prepare them for, you might be home late, or bring them along, because everyone's really friendly. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I can say. So, like, you know, yeah, in terms of, yeah, you'll be quite busy with everybody, even though like the sessions finish at whatever times, 5, 6.
The conference really never stops. Once it starts, it's really, I mean, it's full on for those 4 days, really.
Cool.
So, Warren, what are you most looking forward to then?
It's not.
No, he's muted. He's not going.
Oh, rubbish.
It's really quiet.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Warren.
You're muted.
I can't hear Warren. Warren.
Hello? What about?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'll shout.
We can hear you.
There we go.
So, Mike, probably it would be the panel session is the most interesting because it's always kind of find out what's coming up and to kind of grill, or not grill, but kind of question the core team and kind of the HQ in terms of where is the kind of the core product going and kind of and kind of find out anything that's going to be happening on the roadmap. So that's, if I was going, that would be the one key session that I would definitely make.
Cool. That sounds good.
We've got a couple of questions come in. Rick Helson asks, I presume he's also maybe a newcomer to CodeGarden, but he was asking, what was the wrestler thing last year all about?
What was the wrestler thing about?
Yeah.
Okay, just stunned silence.
Yeah, there was a wrestling incident last year at Bingo, where someone got power slammed onto a table.
Oh,
There was a guy who, I can't remember if I called him now. There was a guy who was slagging off Umbraco, saying it was badly written code and all this other stuff, and he was going to rewrite it or something like that. And then a wrestler came on and told him to back down.
But so what it was all about still, who really knows what it was about? It's just part of the mayhem and randomness of this conference.
Is there anything else we want to kind of ask one another before we kind of wrap up for today? Apart from you'll see each other in Denmark and have a beer.
Yeah, definitely. Stretch your legs. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Preparing your liver now.
What's that, Pete?
Prepare your liver now.
Yeah, start getting the drinking practice in.
I did a test run last night.
I'm in it now. It's like,
On the wine.
I'm not gonna stop.
Okay, unless there's any more questions that roll in the next minute or so, I think we'll wrap up there. But thank you all very much, guys, for joining me, and have a great CodeGarden, and hopefully I'll see you next year. Cool. Thank you. See you later. Bye. Bye.